Welcome to Running Plays with Coach P. Wade. I am Coach P. Wade, and y'all, I am back. And if this is your first time here, I want to say thank you for coming to my channel. If you could please like, please share, please subscribe. Share with a family member or friend because this might be the episode that is needed for not only you, but it may be for them as well. And if you've already been tuned into my channel, I appreciate your patience with my break. I thank you so much. I appreciate you following me, subscribing to me. And y'all, let's lock in. I am back. And as you see, even though it's summertime, it's officially summer. It turned into another season while I've been out. I'm out here in the hoodie because I don't know if it's like this in y'all houses or just in the office space, but you got to dress for inside. Inside is cold. It's the in between. You go outside, it's 97. You come back inside, it's freezing. So that's why I look like I'm still in the middle of the winter. So please excuse how I look right now. As I've turned on the camera, I'm actually getting hot because I'm back, right? I'm excited. I'm ready to come back. I took a 30-day break from my platform, from recording videos, from all of it, from social media, from scrolling, from really any outside external noise. Y'all, this pause, I call it the power of the pause, and that's what this episode is, has been so amazing in my life because if you know me or if you don't know me, I am an ambitious individual. I've been going hard my whole life from playing basketball to getting a scholarship to getting in the corporate world to going up the ladder there and just going to pivoting off to becoming an entrepreneur, becoming a book writer, author, all these things, right? Coaching. I'm always going. Like I'm always carrying so much. And what I realized over the last few months was it was getting a little heavy, and I needed to take a moment because I could no longer hear. If you pray to God and they say you can hear, I couldn't hear. I needed to be still. And I was getting that message. So I decided, let me take a pause from all this stuff. I was hesitant as hell because if you're new to my channel, I don't got a million subscribers. Hell, I don't even got 1,000. I'm really getting started. I've been doing this for over a year, but I'm still new to everything I'm doing. So to take a pause at that moment took a lot of courage because I was like, what if people stop rocking with me? I was getting all those thoughts creeping in, but they not. I had to come to the conclusion that people not gonna rock with you if you ain't really up to par. And I wanted to be at my best, and I needed it for myself. So I had to put that to the side. If there's people that stop following me, if there's people that's no longer rocking with me, those just ain't my people. My people that like what I'm putting out, that connect with me, they're gonna still be here. And that's how it is like in life. So I'm kind of rambling, but thank you for being on pause with me. Thank you for coming back with me. Truly appreciate it. I'm telling y'all, this pause it's been so good. It's like being able to take a breath. Like, just think about that. Being able to catch your breath, I should say. Like, think about when you're out running. Your heart's pumping and you beating fast, right? And you're tired, your adrenaline going. And that moment when you get to stop and catch your breath, it feels so good. It's so needed, right? And that's what this was like. It was a moment for me to go ahead and catch my breath. But because it was so good and because it was so necessary, I decided I wanted to bring some of that with me, share it with y'all, like what that journey was like for me and just what type of things that I was able to do. And it was so pivotal and powerful to me because when you pause from the things that are going on, like no, I couldn't pause from my 9 to 5. Like I have to go into I got these bills got to get paid, all right? So I got to go to my 9 to 5. So I didn't pause everything. And when I say pause, it's not like staying in the bed under the cover. It's not a depression. It's a pause from the noise, right? It's a pause so you can reassess. It's a pause so you can take inventory. It's a pause so you can realign, recalibrate, and get reset. It's a pause for your spirit. It's not just a pause from, I know we all want to put life on pause, but we don't got that luxury. But we do have the luxury to identify in us where, maybe that heart pumping too much. Maybe we doing too much, right? Maybe we can no longer hear. So what do I need to do? It's crazy because I work in an office setting where I'm watching so many people that as I'm in my pause, you become more aware. And I see so many people close to burning out. They say 77% of people are the ones that's gonna admit it have admitted to being burnt out. Like 77%. If you're watching this, you probably one of them. You're probably ready to break down, but you got the bills. You probably ready to break down, but you got the kids. You got all these responsibilities. You got the job. You got the relationship. You got all these different things to where you're like, I can't take a break. But I'm gonna tell you this right here: if you do not take a break, your body will take one for you, and that's just one of the realest things. That's like not giving your car an oil change. You gonna be driving on the road, that thing gonna break down, and you gonna have to pull over and take a break that wasn't planned, right? You don't get your tires changed, your car is gonna it's gonna break down. All these different things. Your check engine light's on. Your check engine light is probably on. My check engine light was on. But with our bodies, it's different than a car. A car is gonna alert us, right? It's gonna let us know. But with our bodies, we still get signs. It may not be an orange symbol popping up somewhere, but you're gonna start seeing the fatigue. You're gonna start seeing that maybe your mood is impacted. Certain things that used to not trigger you might trigger you in a different way. Your emotions feel imbalanced. You're not as productive as you actually think you are. You think you're getting work done at work, but you're really just working hard, right? You're not really working. You're not being as productive. You're not producing fruit. So those are the type of things that you may need to look out for. Your people around you, sometimes, if you're like me, because I'm a high functioning individual, the people around you not gonna notice if you're high functioning because you're the strong one and you can carry more than what others can carry. So it may seem as you're good, but you're really over here about to have a damn breakdown. You're really over here hitting the gas and you need to be on the brakes, right? So I want you to be able to really, after you watch this episode, like look at yourself and like see if you're tired. We're all trying to get to it. We got this hustle culture. That was a good thing I was off social media, but you got the hustle culture. You got the you don't need no sleep, sleep when you dead, like all these different things, right? But our rest and our pause and our peace and our stillness, those things are important. I had this thing I wanted to say: productivity without purpose is just exhaustion with a schedule. Productivity without purpose is just exhaustion with a schedule. And I think a lot of us are operating in that. Like we think we're being productive, but if it we ain't got the purpose, because we ain't got our peace, because we ain't got our rest, we're not doing anything, right? So I just really want to talk about that. I was thinking about one of my favorite movies, and I may have talked about this movie before because it's one of my top. Click with Adam Sandler. It's the movie where he was able to have the universal remote control, and instead of controlling the TV, he was able to control his life. It was like he felt so powerful when he had this remote. It's a funny movie. It's one of my favorite because it takes me on like this roller coaster of emotions. Like I'm laughing, I'm crying, I'm reflecting. Like that movie, if you haven't seen Click, it's a very old movie, but Click, he has the universal remote control and he can fast forward through the bad moments in life. He can mute people, he can mute conversations, he can skip over pain. He can do all those things, but then throughout the movie, he realized that he was skipping over and muting and fast forwarding the things that really mattered. And what really allowed him to reflect was the only button that can have him sit still was the pause, where he can really appreciate all the things that truly mattered, because everything else, the fast forward, the skip, it was just creating distance. It was creating distance with people. It was creating distance with his purpose. It was creating distance with his peace. And I like that movie so much because it's a comedy, in a sense, a drama, but if you really break that movie down, it really has so much meaning behind it. And when we look at our lives and how we're on the go, go, go all the time, I'm telling you, like the people and the time with people, that's the important stuff, right? Being able to be one within yourself, being able to reflect, gain clarity, pray, listen, reassess. All those things are so important because that's where we grow. That's when we evolve. That's how we get better. I was thinking another thing that came up this week. If you watched it, the NBA Finals, and this is another reason: power of a pause, a timeout, right, a breather. NBA Finals. Game 7, Oklahoma City versus Indiana. Tyrese Halliburton came out of the gate smoking. So Indiana, they had their plan, just like we all have our plans in life, right? They had their plan. Star player out the gates. He hit three threes back to back. He was on fire. I called my mom. I said, "You see your boy?" Cause she from Gary, Indiana. So everybody on Indiana, her boy, right? I said he on fire. Couple minutes into it, man, he gets injured. He hurts his Achilles. He's out for the game. They had a whole plan. They had a whole strategy, right? But that coach, Rick Carlisle, had to call a timeout. And that's what life is. I want to say that sometimes we have to call the timeout because, yes, they had a plan. Yes, they had a strategy. Yes, they had everything written up on how this was going to go. But he had to call that timeout so they can re strategize, so they can catch their breath from what just happened, reassess everything, check their inventory, look at all their players, and see what everything was, right? So then they could regroup and come back out with a better plan and a better strategy. And that's the whole thing, y'all. That's the whole thing of pausing, time out, catch a breath, whatever you want to call it. It's the whole thing so you can really have a moment of reflection. Because as we're in this life, and I'm very guilty of it, we rush through decisions, we rush through moments, we just keep going and going, and we're rushing, and we're not taking those moments to let things just breathe. Like that's my new thing. Like let it breathe. Like somebody say something to you, you may want to react and say something back. Let it breathe. You may not need to do it right then and there, right? Take a pause, take a breather. Let it breathe. When we jump from different things, we jump to different jobs because of maybe it's the fear of being let go at the job. We jump to different projects because maybe we feel like we got to be working on multiple things or we're not productive. We jump to different relationships. We do all these things and we're trying to fix maybe the disappointment of a last situation without feeling it. Yes. We're trying to fix the disappointment, y'all, because maybe we failed somewhere, so we need to move on. So we ain't really got to sit in that. But sometimes it's good for us as human beings to just sit, be still, be silent, listen. And if you're not a spiritual person, because I mean, I get that. It may not be God. It may just be the universe speaking to you. It may be your own thoughts where you don't have all that external noise of social media. You're not scrolling and hearing somebody talk. You're not scrolling and seeing somebody's message or meme. It's your own thoughts, your own ideas, your own reflection, right? So being able to take that moment, right, and just take a time out so your next move, your next play, your next thing, your next step, right, your next pivot is with clarity. Because if we're moving without clarity, what are we really doing? We're just going through life. We're spiraling out of control. And that's not the way that anyone should be living. So I want you to be able to really take a pause. I want you to think about what's an area in your life where you need to take a pause. What's something that you're rushing through right now that you may need to take a moment to reassess, right? Like, what truths are you ignoring that you don't want to feel, so you're going to go at a different pace? Like, what are those things? Like, really, really think about that. What are those areas that you may need to take a pause in order for you to regroup and evolve in, right? Because that's where the evolution is going to happen. That's where your growth is going to happen when you take that moment. And I just really, I mean, I'm making a whole episode on it because and I'm probably repeating myself, like, but I just want us to be able to understand, like, life is going to derail us, right? Life is going to throw us off track. Life is going to be hard. No one's going to get out of this unscathed. Like, we're all going to go through things that will throw us off track. But taking that moment of reflection of what did you gain from that? What did you learn from that? The only way you get that growth and those answers is when you sit still. The only way you're going to get that is when you take a beat, take a breath, catch your breath, and just say, let me regroup real quick. Like, I need a breather. I'm telling y'all, this is the most clear I've ever been in my life, I think. Like, just being able to take a moment to pause. Like, we got to stop running from, things and staying productive because we're just avoiding, right? Like, So I don't know. I one thing I wanted to say as well is I think a lot of us too, we do this thing where we don't see anybody take breaks, right? Nobody's gonna be that vulnerable for real. I mean, there may be some that's taking breaks, so we're comparing ourselves to everybody's highlight reels. But I'm here to tell you, no one's gonna post their breakdowns. Nobody's gonna post when they have ran out of breath and they're damn exhausted, right? Nobody's gonna post when their car ran out of gas. Nobody's posting that. So don't compare. Don't feel like you got to keep going to keep up with something that's not real. Social media, the internet, ain't none of that's real, right? People out here doing stuff and it looks so great. And let me keep it real. Like some things are real, like, but we're not seeing every step, every aspect of that. So you can't compare yourself to anyone on social media unless you know that person in real life and you rocking with them and you right by their side through every moment, right? But y'all do not compare yourself because no one's gonna be posting their breakdowns. And the last thing I want you to do, because I want you to really think, right? I really want you to leave this episode thinking about what areas of your life do you need to pause in, and that's your challenge for this week. Identify one area in your life that you need to take a breather in, that you need to take a pause, you need to take a beat, you need to reassess, you need to regroup, you need to realign, so you can reset and you can come back better. You can come back with growth. You can come back evolved, right? We all are trying to evolve in this life. Like, that's one of the purposes of us being here is to grow and evolve. But sometimes we have to sit and pause and let things heal. Just like if you had an injury, I think one time I broke my wrist. I had to let it heal for 6 weeks in order for it to come back where I could be ready to go, for it to be stronger, for me to be up to par. It's the same thing with our spirits. You may have a broken spirit right now. You may be watching this, and this may be that confirmation or validation for you because you're broken, and everything broken has to take time to heal. So, but we like to think of that as physical brokenness. I'm talking about the mental brokenness. I'm talking about the emotional brokenness, the spiritual brokenness. Whatever that is, if you are broken, you have to take that time to heal. And then also, if you're the other, because this is kind of like twofold. Also, if you're that person that's just going, 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 and being productive, are you really being productive, right? Like really assess your stuff. Assess yourself. Like, how much are you really getting done? If you're not, if you're not up to par, like what are you really doing? What do you really bring to the table, right? So take that moment for yourself. This is twofold. There's two type of pauses I'm talking about here. But y'all, that's all I got. I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to bring y'all new episodes weekly. And just keeping us all inspired, keeping us all motivated. If you've been rocking with me, you know the number one reason I started doing this was because I went through a mental health situation. You know, I was depressed. I went through that. I suffered from anxiety, all these different things. So what I want to do is just bring light to you, to your family, to people. Um, and as we grow and go through life, I want us to become better because we all can be better. But there's things that we have to do to be that. So I'm going to leave y'all with that tonight. I appreciate you tuning in. Again, please like, share, subscribe. And if you're not following me on my other platforms, please follow me on Ooh, I've been off for a minute. Please follow me on TikTok at Coach P Wade. Follow me on Instagram at Coach P Wade. Follow me on Facebook at Patrice Wade. If you don't have my book yet, it's on Amazon. I'll be talking more and more about it. I Rise at 5, The Secrets to Success, Peace, and Happiness. And also, if you're looking for a speaker, if you want somebody to come to your kid's school, come to your company, anything like that, you can book me. Go to CoachPWade.com. All my information is there. And with that, y'all, I'm going to see y'all next week. I'm out.